Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sistas. We're on season 9, episode 21, entitled Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And what I will say is, child, the girls had all the fun that they have had in ages. Everybody was under the influences of alcohol and other substances, and it was a lot going on. So let's just jump back into it. And so now we're back to being confronted, we being Andy and Sabrina, in the bathroom by what's her name, Penelope, and her homegirl. And Andy doesn't appear to be as timid as she once was when it came to Penelope. And so Sabrina is trying to get them up out of there, but Penelope is like, she's telling Andy, like, Penelope ain't really worth our time. Girl, let's get up out of here. Let's go back to having fun. Right? And so Penelope is just still telling her, like, you're trash. You're bottom of the barrel. Your friends are like that as well, which is why they're upholding you when you wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And whatever, we're going back and forth. And so Andy takes the time, this moment, to remind Penelope, like, girl, you keep coming for me. Mind you, I'm the one that tried to save you from Gary. And she was like, save me from Gary? Girl, you didn't do me no favors. If it wasn't for Zach, you would be unalived just like Zach's ex-wife. Like, you would be gone as well. And, you know, just taking the lowest of blows that she can come across. And Sabrina is trying to hold her girl down, but Sabrina is so drunk, child. She's so drunk she has the hiccups. Like, she is Uncle Melvin, like a drunk uncle sitting out drinking beer all day every day, functioning alcoholic, cirrhosis of the liver. Like, she is that level of drunk. She got the hiccups. She can't focus on the insults. Like, child, Sabrina is just 2 sheets to the wind. And then Penelope tells her that she's holding herself back from putting her hands on Andy because she made a promise to Robin. And she's like, what Robin got to do with it? Oh yeah, girl, me and Robin date now, and he made me promise, like, once you find out, to not beat you up or whatever, trying to rub it in. Now, I think Penelope lying, because I remember her coming on to Robin, and there's nothing that indicates that this is true. She's just trying to grasp at straws to kind of get under Andy's skin. That's my assumption. But anyway, so, you know, that does kind of shake Andy a little bit, and I don't know why, because we've already made our peace with, you know, Robin's going back to London. There's nothing there for us to, let's move on. So it shouldn't affect you, but whatever. That seems to kind of shake her a little bit. And then Danny rolls in trying to use the bathroom, trying to mind her business. And you can kind of see where Andy gets this extra little, she gets extra invigorated when Danny's in there, because she already know, like, Danny is that girl. Like, when it's time to lay hands, Danny's my girl. So she, like, lock on to Danny. And again, this gives her, like, a little superpower to go toe to toe with Penelope and to still be talking trash. And so she tells Penelope, like, girl, it just appears as if you get a kick out of scooping up my sloppy seconds, whether that's Gary, Robin, even when it comes to Sabrina, and her sloppy seconds when it comes to Rich. And I'm not gonna lie, it's giving sloppy seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths. But anyway, she's still talking trash back and forth, and Danny's like, all right, cool, all this talking, it's enough of that. She tells the bathroom attendant, the older lady, she's like, ma'am, I don't even want you to be involved in this. I'm going to ask you to head out. So the lady gives her the room, and they close the door. Like, everybody cleared the motherfucking dressing room. It gave that type of vibe. And so Danny asks her, like, hey, go ahead and head out. So she leaves and she closes the door, and she's like, you know what, Penelope, you overdue for what's about to come to you. She looks at Andy, she's like, handle your business. So they get to squabbling. Everybody in that thing swinging except Sabrina. She is damn near scared to death. So, you know, now we've come to fisticuffs. Andy and Penelope getting their rounds in, and then Danny's getting it in with Penelope's friend that happened to be there with her. Back outside, we see everybody else, like the pregnant girls, as well as Maurice and Pam, and they're like, girl, it's a lot going on in that bathroom. It's getting real hood. It's getting real ghetto. We're gonna go ahead and head out because we don't do that. Not knowing it's your homegirls in there fighting for their life, right? So we see security, and they're rushing off to the direction of the restroom. And of course, it's to break up the fight and get them the hell up out of there. And their friends are none the wiser. We see Penelope, and she's kind of swinging, and she hits Sabrina by accident. And Sabrina's like, girl, why did you hit me? And Penelope's like, girl, it's an accident. Sabrina ain't care nothing about this. Sabrina took her hand, and she reared back, and she got her one good lick in off Penelope. I didn't see her having it in her, but she kind of got in the field a little bit, like kind of like in the waiting area, like on the bleachers a little bit. She ain't got too far in the field, but you know, she got her little ones in with Penelope. All right, so security puts their ass up out of there because we don't have time for that. And they are kind of high off the adrenaline. They're like, who else wants some? Like, it's giving like Debo, like, who else wants some? And everybody they're telling everybody that didn't know it was them in the bathroom, like Maurice and Pam and Cameron and Fatima, like, yeah, that was us. We was getting it in. But everybody seems to be most shocked that Sabrina got in on the action, as was I. I was like, girl, I didn't think she'd have it in her. But now we outside just drinking some smuggled shots that Pam smuggled out of the club, whatever. The night is just going on. Like I said, it's just absolute mayhem. But a lot more energy than it was last week, so I can appreciate it. Okay, Andy and Danny, they kind of have this moment off to the side where Andy thanks Danny for having her back against Penelope in that bathroom. And she's like, girl, why would you think anything other than I was going to have your back? Even though we beefing, that don't mean I'm not going to go to war for you. Like, that's just what it is. And now we're like, yeah, now you're right. Now we are beefing. I didn't think it's going to go to bat. But what is the beef about? Neither one of them have a sufficient answer as to what the root cause is. But we kind of get into this dialogue about like, hey, you know, Danny feels like Andy kind of woke up one day and kind of deemed her untrustworthy and not worthy of kind of being in on the inner circle within the circle, and that hurt her feelings. Like, you know, I know, you know, I'm a strong personality, but I'm not here to hurt you. I'm still your best friend, like the other people in the situation. So, you know, what's up? And Andy's like, you know, I understand. I apologize. And she's like, but what does happen is you do say some wild stuff, Danny, and she's like, I know that's always been your personality for as long as I've known you, so I'm not mad about that. But Andy does admit, like, sometimes she just doesn't want to hear it presented in that way or in that tone, or, you know, the way that's being presented. And Danny tells her, like, girl, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Like, no beef about it. Just set the boundary and just let me know what you need from me in the moments that you need from me. Like, communicate what we need, so we don't both have to just be in our minds and just come to these conclusions, so that we never end up in this situation again. And she was like, yeah, because I felt like you would, you know, hide the information from me, and, you know, we get some confirmations and we get a way ahead and apologies, and let's just hope it sticks, because I don't know if they're gonna be back on the house, because that police officer guy was trying to talk to Andy, but he was also trying to talk to Danny, and by the end of this, Danny and him are gonna get to knocking boots. So I don't even know if that's gonna be a problem. I hope not, because it's enough. I'm sick of it. Moving right along. All right, so in the spirit of drunk and confessionals, Sabrina does tell Danny that she's still seeing her cousin Rock. That's not gonna last through the episode. Just spoiler alert. But Danny's like, girl, I don't care. I was just trying to warn you of the shit show that comes along with being involved with that guy. But since you insist on being a part of the shit show, the circus, y'all go ahead and have fun. That's not my headache. Y'all have, you know, y'all just do what y'all gotta do. I really don't give a damn. Okay, so Sabrina calls Maurice to get the location, because Maurice had already left. He was like, girl, they was being ratchet in the bathroom, again, not knowing that it was her, and I had to go ahead and head out. And she tells Maurice, like, no, that was us. You know, we had to handle our business. Like, we had to take up our G-string and handle ours. Like, it is what it is. So they head that way to wherever Maurice is at the, I think it's the gay club. And everybody is, you know, again, everybody just standing outside, just kind of chit-chatting, holding up space or whatever. And Andy snatches a brownie from Sabrina's purse. Now, come on now. You got to, at some point, you got to know it's a random brownie in a Ziploc bag. You know what it is, right? Say it with me. Inedible. All right, it was inedible. And Andy ate, let's just say she ate 3/4 of the doggone edible before Sabrina, just drunk self, could get the words out. Like, that's edible. That's edible. And so now she's like, oh God, you gave me drugs. And she's like, I ain't mean to. Like, girl, you snatched that thing out of my purse. So now everybody's like, all right, like 2 teardrops in a bucket. F it. Like, let's do it. We out here. We outside all night now. Everybody is taking the night up a notch, because everybody is now taking a bite of what's left of said forbidden brownie, right? To exclude, I think, Karen, Maurice, and Fatima. Those are the people that did not partake. But, you know, Pam is probably a connoisseur of sorts, and she's not going to be as affected. But so the rest of the night is kind of going to be this drug-induced haze that we're going to be making poor decisions within, and we're just going to do what we got to do. Okay, so we see Karen escape to the bathroom to call Aaron. You know, she's wanting to check in on her baby, as do most first time moms, their first time being away from the baby. So she's checking in. He's like, everything's fine. I'm fine as well if you're concerned. And, they have this little small discussion, and it was just cute to see her finally settling into the maternal role and the things that most people say will come naturally. So just cute enough to know. All right. So everybody is on Pluto at this point. Everybody's brains is no longer on Earth with us. And there are kind of a lot of things going on. Everybody's kind of setting up their little plays for the evening. Danny has invited the cop dude out. Sabrina has invited Cousin Rock. And we're all just kind of vibing. And we're doing double dutch in the middle of the club. Like, there is a lot going on. Okay? So Sabrina stumbles to the bathroom, and she's trying her best not to call Earl. She's trying her best not to throw up. And she hears like some commotion in the stall, like some moaning and some groaning and some bumping and grinding. And she was trying to mind her business, and the door opens, and she's, my bad, y'all, I wouldn't try to be nosy. But she runs into Mr. Cousin Rock. He is in there entertaining two young ladies, two lesbian lovers in there, and they having the time of their life. And Sabrina's like, I invited you here. Like, you ain't even, I didn't know you were here. He was like, girl, you invited me to this freaky place, and I decided to indulge. Do you want to join us and have a little bit of fun? And Sabrina's like, absolutely not. I no offense, ladies, but no, I'm good. I don't want to partake. And he's like, well, okay, girl, if you want to sit over there and be like, the switch was immediate. Like, girl, if you want to sit over there and be lame, then stay over there and be lame. And she's like, and I will. You're not gonna peer pressure me or insult me into participating in something I don't wanna. Yeah, I might be drunk. Yeah, I might be off of edible, but no. So he is like, okay, I'm done with you. You lame anyway. Blah 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 blah. She's like, basically, she's girl, whatever, Rock. Y'all have fun. I see exactly what Danny was saying about like the shit show that comes along with you. So y'all be easy. Y'all go ahead and head out. Just y'all go ahead and enjoy yourself. So Cousin Rock, for as quickly as he came, let's just assume that he's now gone. We don't need to see him in the next episode. We really didn't need him this season or episode. We really didn't need him at all. I don't think it didn't add a whole lot to the scheme of the season, but y'all let me know if y'all feel differently. All right. So we see Fatima and Karen, and they're just kind of sitting back watching the inebriated shenanigans happen. And, she's just giving like some kind of doting words on her friends. Like, she's a rough customer, but she means well, and she loves ferociously. And Andy is, she is the glue in this thing, whether she knows it or not. Like, they're small talking, and it's, giving the season finale wrap up. And Fatima is talking to Karen. She's like, can I ask you for a favor? She was like, sure, anything. We're good now. And she's like, please look after the girls while I'm in Seattle. Like, I know it goes without saying, but I'm a flight away, and I'd like to rest easy knowing like you're looking after them. Not only that, she tells him like, you a homegirl too now. Like you one of the girls. Like, take care of my girls. And she agrees. So that turned out beautifully, shall I say. All right, so all the girls, they jump onto the stage to kind of wrap up the night so we can wrap up the season next week. Well, in a couple of days, because it's Monday. And started singing, we are family. I got all my sisters with me. Let's just wrap this up, make it cute. And that is how episode 21 ends. But what I did see is a couple projections that are interesting. We kind of see where... in the next episode, where Andy's mom seems to know OG that's friends with Zach's dad. So it's interesting to see what she was. Like, was she out in the drug-induced scene with those guys in her heyday? Not Miss Bible-thumping judgmental lady. I know not for that. What else do we see? I think that was the biggest thing that I picked up in projections for next week's episode. But we will see what happens. And, of course, I will be here ready for the season to end. Either way, let me know what you think about the episode. Let's talk about it in the comments. We'll discuss it there. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.